If you want to know about the Nibelheim incident, Sephiroth's departure to darkness, and everything in great detail that the games and the compilation couldn't get through, or OVAs, and you want to learn how, you just want to read something, read a good book by reading M.J. Gallagher's The Nibelheim Incident. It has the full backstory. Of Chaos. This is your King of the Knife. It's Finalfantasyvii Turk, and I'm gonna ask: should I really defend this game? It's already got good enough reviews. I mean, people actually like this out of the compilation Final Fantasy VII. Alright, I'll do it. Shit, no, don't false flag me for this. Okay, I'll do it, cause I'll do it. Okay. So, here's me defending Crisis Core. It's a good game. It's got good review scores. That's good enough. There you go. Bye. We're done. Okay. You want an in-depth of me defending Crisis Core. Now, to start off, out of the Final Fantasy VII compilation, this is actually the one that actually goes in both the original game and the compilation in a way where it does not intertwine or mess up any continuity. While also keeping an original story, an original idea, and having an original hero and original villain, even though we already know what the hero is. Now, Zack is a more lovable protagonist than Cloud Strife, as we know, so obviously people are going to gravitate to him, but now we get to see him as he was as a second-class soldier all the way to first class. All the trials he went through and stuff like that and everything. We get to see a full-fledged of what happened during even the Nibelheim incident, as well as one of the many arcs. But we get to see arcs before that end up going up to the main story of Final Fantasy VII. And how Cloud ends up getting Zack's Buster Sword. We get to be in depth for it. As you see, it's passed down from a man named Angeal, which was Zack's teacher and sensei. So we get to see it being passed down through the bloodlines. Not the bloodlines, but the soldier legacy lines as well. And to protect your honor as soldier, Now, people said that the only thing people complained about is that of Genesis being the villain. But then again, Sephiroth was only a villain in the middle of that story, because Zack's story, when Sephiroth turns to the dark side because of what he finds out about himself, was actually only really a middle arc, because Zack's story starts in the Wutai War in the beginning. At least the finishing. Finishing the Wutai War. Genesis deserted. You gotta go find Genesis and stop him. Then Angeal deserted. You gotta find him and stop him as well. He's even gone as crazy. Too crazy, but I'm not gonna spoil too much of the game. But pretty much it's got, the Zack storyline. It's even got more detail than just that. Even more of a big picture of Aerith and Zack's relationship. After all, Zack is Aerith's boyfriend, or Aerith's boyfriend, no matter what you call her, Because then when you go back to play Final Fantasy VII, you'll understand what she's saying when she says Zack was her first boyfriend. And, even though Cloud claims not to have heard of him, it's because Cloud can't remember. But the player can remember. Now, this actually went in really smoothly, but also keeping the original story. And you gotta remember, Sephiroth was only one arc villain, because Sephiroth didn't come back until the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. After losing in the Mako reactor in Nibelheim. So, Of course they're not gonna have Sephiroth as a villain, even though he trains you. Even though a digital copy of Sephiroth, you fight in the beginning. You still Sephiroth wasn't the main focus of that game. Was the main focus of the game. So Genesis, being the villain he is, actually set up all the great stuff that happened through the compilation. As you see, Genesis goes into Dirge of Cerberus later. You'll understand how it links the original and the compilation up pretty well. As Genesis is the first character, as one of the first characters you see in the compilation series, you know, he's also the last, so it ties it up. This is, and besides the combat, now people are mixed about the combat, but the combat stayed close, at least to the original Final Fantasy VII, except for the addition of slot machines you can use for your stuff. But people like the combat better than it was in Dirge of Cerberus, just because it felt like a Final Fantasy game, and understandably so. But also, it had Vincent Valentine. If you actually really pay attention to the cameos, as when you go to the Nibelheim mansion, you hear someone sleeping in a casket. We already know who it is that's in the casket. So it's actually put some good cameos, good extra side quests. You could go back and fight bosses in extra side quests as well. You go back to fight Sephiroth, Genesis, no matter who you are. And then even the secret boss Minerva, or, as a secret boss. So you could do, you could fight, you can upgrade your stuff, your armor. You won't be able to upgrade your swords because, Zack purely uses the Buster Sword. Even though in the story, Cloud mentions he don't use it a whole lot, he does actually use it in the game because this is an iconic thing, it's Zack's Buster Sword for a reason. Because he's inherited, but that's the point. We also get to see the origin of the Buster Sword. That it was Angeal's father who actually crafted the Buster Sword, or at least got the Buster Sword crafted, and it was in Angeal's family for a long time. And Angeel didn't have no brothers or sisters. Zack was like a little brother to him, so Zack inherited it as if he was part of Angeal's family. So, Genesis was kind of like another brother, but Genesis, going off in his rocker, Angeo can't really no longer respect Genesis, and because Genesis is also the cause of why he's the way he is as well, because Angeo didn't want to live his whole life having a one wing on his back, even though it was a white wing, because, Genesis is, because Angeo's a more pure of heart than Genesis. He didn't want to have any mutation. Hence why he had Zack kill him by doing all the stuff he did. So Zack could live and protect Angeal's legacy. But besides the story, I think the story and the plot points were really good. There's a lot of character development. And I never liked the character Sang. But even though Sang was kind of jealous at Zack for stealing Aerith from him, he did try to help Zack. Disobeyed his orders to try to help Zack, even though Zack's being pursued by the same army that Sung works, works alongside. We got to see a change of trying to save Zack just to make Aerith happy. So you got to see pretty much better. You got to see more human. More, I wouldn't say more human, but more, what you call more, a more, more, I can't figure it out right now. I'd say conscientious. We got to see Sen with a conscience. That we never saw in the original Final Fantasy VII. So it's actually changed our perspective of what happens. Because I think after Zack dies, he has no reason to have that. So we got to see characters fully fleshed out. The gameplay is pretty awesome. Now, I personally don't really care for the slot machine thing because, I don't, how I feel about luck-based stuff like that. But they had to put something in. Remember, it's a spin-off game. People could say the same thing with Dirge of Cerberus. But nonetheless, besides the combat, I mean, the combat's really good, but the fan base's standards and what they want. Plus, Zack's a fully fleshed out um, character and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a fully fleshed out character. He was a really good character. In fact, I'll be honest. I actually, when I first got to the point where Zack dies, even though I knew he was going to die because, well, that's what happens, I actually felt bad. Even though I knew Zack's fate, I actually felt really bad. Zack was a good character. I think Shinra. This shows the true side of Shinra as well. When Zack says that don't soldiers of den of monsters don't go in, when he's telling Cloud that, it's because Zack figured out the truth. That Shinra is not really the organization that's actually good. In fact, in fact, Shinra is an evil organization by by trying to increase the wealth and potential of the higher ups in Midgar, and that's pretty much it. They'll do anything and make it look like it's for noble reasons, but it's really not. Soldier's not what you think it is. And Zack knew about it, and they didn't like that. Zack knew too much. He escaped with Cloud, and knowing way too much, they had to go hunt him down before he starts to snitch. That's just the way it is. But it showed you the true side of Shinra, the not so glamorous side. Because in the beginning, it showed you the glamorous side and why people cared about Shinra and stuff like that, where people think that they're good and stuff like that. Showed that in the beginning, then closer to the middle and end, you see Zack actually start developing philosophies from Genesis and Sephiroth. Except the difference is Zack handled it way better. As for Genesis and Sephiroth, they were genocidal about it. But, they did put a message inside Zack where Zack was like, you know what? The people, I'm not sure about the people I work for. I'm not sure about what they're doing. The reason why Zack's a good character because Zack has good morals. He can't stand for social evils. Just like Vincent Valentine, just like Vincent Valentine, he cannot stand social evils. Vincent was the first to figure out that Shin was actually a fucked up organization. Zack started thinking that way too. As a matter of fact, because of Zack wanting to be a mercenary and fight against Shinra, that's what caused Cloud to fight for Avalanche right after his death scene, which still today still gets me sad. I think I personally hate the Shinra company for hunting down and killing Zack. Zack was a good man. He didn't deserve to be treated like dirt like that. But another reason why I hate Professor Hojo because he sent the military after them. Another reason why I hate Professor Hojo to no end, to no end as a character, because he killed a good person, good-hearted person. Like, I'll be honest, this is one person I'll be honest. I know I don't. I know I don't always agree, but I think maybe there should be more Zack in games. There should be more Zack and stuff like that. Maybe Zack in Super Smash and the City NT. So maybe this is not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's like, and this ties into the original Final Fantasy 7, as you see the ending where Cloud jumps on a train and stuff like that, and starts working for Avalanche, and then it begins that scene, so you can just play Final Fantasy 7 right after. So it jumps right into Final Fantasy 7, so you can just jump right into that and play that, which hopefully Crisis Core actually comes on the PS and store, because I already have Final Fantasy VII. I'd like to be able to play that at least. Even if Dirge of Service don't come on, please put Crisis Core. You don't have the HD remaster, just put it on the PSN store so people can actually play it. So may the crystal be with you, and the verdict is in. There's no way this game is trash. There's no way. This is actually one of the good spin-off titles. Also working on Vincent Valentine web series, fan trailer at least. So please support JTS Productions if you want to see a Vincent Valentine, trailer, and then hopefully one day it becomes a web series. So there's that too.